Hey y'all, welcome back to Warhammer Station. I'm Colin. I'm excited to make some more videos about the index cards that Games Workshop has put out. Today, I want to talk to you about the Blood Angels. There's a lot going on in this. What I want to talk to you about is the most notable rules. There is a lot of videos out there that people have already made about all these index cards. I'm going to cut through the shaft. I don't have to do a line by line unit review talking about this and that. I want to talk about the best things in here. What you're going to see across the table from you, what you might want to play with to make an effective army, what I think is an effective army. And yeah, there's a lot to these little index pages, but there's a lot of things that probably aren't going to be that effective on the table compared to some other things. So yeah, let's get into this. It's a really good army list, I think. So it starts off with the detachment rule. You still get the army rule, Oath of Moment. So Blood Angels are still Space Marines. They still get the reroll hits and wounds against against whatever they're fighting, against a single unit, right? But they replace their detachment rule with the Red Thirst. And what this does is pretty simple. It's a really good rule, though, despite it being so simple. When charge move is made, you add 1 to the strength and attacks characteristics of melee weapons equipped by models in that unit. So what that says is this is a close combat army. Now you don't want to leave out the shooting phase. You still have your Oath of Moment that you can probably be pretty effective in. But I think what you're going to find in this, what I'm fixing to talk about, is the shooting phase for them kind of doesn't matter in a sense. What you really want is to be moving up the board and really getting after it, right? So that's the detachment rule. The stratagems are all close combat focused for the most part, right? So if you kill an enemy unit that just destroyed your character for Angel Sacrifice, you can re-roll a hit roll. That's going to come in really clutch for like your Sanguinary Guard or Death Company or whatever else that's going to be out there, and maybe their character got sniped or something. They're going to turn and crank it up to 11, getting after what just killed their guy. Some consolidation stratagem, enhancing their lethality stratagems, worsening the armor penetration characteristic for some longevity, and can declare a charge even though it just fell back. And then the best one, only in death does duty in, same as the Space Marines, and you can fight on death. There's no roll a 4+ and fight on death. It just happens, right? Remember, you can add your Space Marine captains maybe with a jump pack or something that lets you use these units twice, these stratagems twice in some cases. But none of them, like you're adding them to regular assault squads or something like that. I think with Blood Angels, what you're going to stick with is Death Company or Sanguinary Guard, right? Their enhancements, they're kind of tame compared to, there's no bolter discipline like in Space Marines. But any one of these is going to help you out. Again, pick any one of them. They're not going to hurt you, but there's nothing that really stands out here that's super fantastic in my opinion. So yeah, Astrath looks cool, but you know, he's got a built-in fight on death. It's some of this other stuff, like Brother Corbulo, looks cool, but then he can only join a few little things here. That's whatever. It's all this trade-off of points and stuff that you just want to. What are you going to put in your list? And none of those models seem like, compared to some other things that I really want to get after. Mephiston is the first most notable character that we want to look at. And why is this? Because he gives himself and the whole unit fight first. And remember how this interaction, if this squad has this rule and they're charged, both units have fight first, and the enemy of who is charged gets to go. It's kind of a convoluted thing. I'm probably not explaining as well as I could, but Mephiston having this, if he's charged, he's going to get to hit first, and he hits pretty good. You know, think about if he gets that extra strength and AP, right? Kind of wish the D3 was like D3 plus 1, but we'll be okay. And his other rules are really good. 4+ against psychic attacks. The weapon skill characteristics of melee weapons equipped by models in that enemy unit by 1. So they're going to hit you worse. And the attacks if they roll a 6. So potentially his unit can be really tough. And then what can he join? Assault intercessors or intercessors or a Stern Guard veteran squad. You know, it could be that maybe you put him in a drop pod or something with these Stern Guard guys and go and shoot stuff. But for me, I'd put him in this assault intercessor squad, get those chainsword attacks really getting after it. Commander Dante, he synergizes well with the Sanguinary Guard that we're fixing to see, and it's all about his buffs, plus he hits really well too, both in close combat and shooting. But it's this Death Mask of Sanguinius and this other Lord Regent of the Imperium Nihilus. Add 1 to the hit roll, add 1 to charge rolls. Each enemy with this unit must take a battle shock test. So they're going to jump over, and it's going to be this really hard force to deal with. Another one, as far as dreadnoughts go, is this Death Company dreadnought. This Frenzied Reprisal is going to be a really interesting interaction. You know, both of his close combat weapons hit really, really, really hard for what they do because they're twin linked on that, so they're getting that extra wound reroll. And then Frenzied Reprisal, if he's shot at or hit in the fight phase, he gets a free attack. So if you charge him with 3 units, he's going to swing 3 times or 4 times in his normal round of hitting stuff. It's going to be kind of crazy. Let's see. Death Company intercessors, they're probably really good. You know, all their weapons are going to have a lot of attacks, but they're limited by what units can join them and by what weapons they can take. The same with the Death Company Marines. They're also limited by not having jump packs. You know, I guess they're not going to be as expensive points wise, but these guys are almost a glass cannon in a sense, and wherever they're wanting to go, they're going to have to get there and deliver some damage before they get shot off the table. So that's why these Death Company Marines with jump packs I think are really well, especially with rerolling charge rolls. But that's not what really makes them shine. It is Chaplain Lamartes that sends them over the top, where if he's part of that unit, subtract 1 from the damage characteristics of that attack. And notice it doesn't say to a minimum of 1. We don't know if this is intentional or not. Obviously, so many of the stuff in 9th edition had this rule, but between this and adding lethal hits to everything, those Death Company with jump packs are going to deliver a serious punch. And again, scrolling back up here right fast, the Death Company Marines, they can take power fists, power weapons, thunder hammers, whereas I think the every model can do this. So they're going to get expensive really fast, but it's going to be this devastating force that comes across and just rip you to shred with all their mods. Remember, these are regular Space Marines. You're not limited to these units. So what you're going to be able to take is those speeders that modify, removing -1 to hit, removing this and that. And, you know, I understand it's not melee, but all these other modifications, improving our armor penetration characteristic, is just going to be super powerful. So it's going to be fun to figure out all these little synergies that get there. Librarian Dreadnought can move a unit. We might see him somewhere. Sanguinary Guard, I think we're going to see a bunch of. Their weapons have been combined into one profile. They can take a power fist. If Dante is with them, they can subtract 1 from the wound roll against this unit, and then they're going to be harder to hit. So, I mean, then they got this 2+ save. They're going to be very tough to kill if Dante's running around with them. Let's see. The Sanguinor is the next one I want to talk about. Again, he has fights first. He's going to be hard to shoot at range. Or can't be shot at all. He's going to show up just anywhere on the field and just dishing out battle shock tests just like Dante is, right? So that fights first is just so. Again, that fights first is just so powerful. It's just really over the top with what is going to be things are going to be capable of in this edition. And then this miraculous saver once per battle at the end of your opponent's charge phase. If this model is still in reserve, you can select 1 enemy unit that made a charge move this phase. Set this model up on the battlefield with engagement range of that enemy unit. So he's just in reserve, shows up, and is going to be in combat. I guess he won't get his charge bonus, but he has the invulnerable save and the armor save, and to really get there and do some damage. And I think that's pretty much it. You know, the Sanguinary Priest with the jump pack looks good. I guess if you're running a basic Space Marine army, you can put him in there because he's just running with assault squads, getting them feel no pains. It's obviously they didn't want the Death Company to have feel no pain, stuff like that. But yeah, that's it for me on this one. As far as units and some special rules go, where I think they're going to shine is these jump pack armies between Death Company, Sanguinary Guard, maybe Mephiston with some assault intercessors, put them in a Land Raider or whatnot, and some real serious damage is what these guys are capable of. It's so fun to see all these units synergize and come together, figuring out all these combos. I think the Blood Angels are going to be a really in-your-face army. They're going to deliver a lot of damage really fast, especially if you have the Sanguinor jumping in there, getting things done. It's a lot of fun to think about, and there's a lot more to cover. I want to try and do a video for each one of these factions. I've got a lot of stuff to make. There's a lot of stuff coming down the pipe, not just videos, but elsewhere. And thank y'all for listening. We have a Discord community that I'll post that link in there. I have a bunch of so much stuff is in the works. We're excited to bring you content. I hope this is good. You know, subscribe, leave a like, as they say, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank y'all so much.